to the cloud. Is that it? Right, I think it's recording. Okay, so I'm using my Pico Toner and we're going to have it on superficial settings. So on my toner, it's 2, and then it's whatever the superficial light setting is on your machines. Oops, so I need to switch this on. Okay, so we're going to do quite a bit of work on the neck. So it was just trying to just warm up the neck area. And I'm concentrating a lot to start with on the trapezius muscles, only because in the last couple of sessions, I think a few people were concerned about jowls. And so stiff neck, stiff trapezius does contribute to jawline and jowls. So when you're ready, just what we're going to do is we're just going to just put one hand just resting here. Okay, so it's just going to be the weight of your arm with your hand resting at the base of your neck. And the other hand can just be anywhere in the back of the neck. So we're just getting some current, some energy into the cells, because whenever you get stiff muscles are like they're like a hindrance to microcurrent. So microcurrent won't really flow through very well because when you've got stiff muscles, it's like you've got a traffic jam. So the traffic doesn't flow through the area, it has to flow around the area. So we have to just stay here and just soften the area a little bit. We'll warm up the area. And then, so the other hand can just be, it's just not supporting, it's just lightly touching at the top of the neck. And then what we're going to do is you're just going to have your elbow, your arm just going down to the ground, and your hand is just going to grip slightly. So at least you get a little bit of grip on the muscle as you bring your elbow down to the ground. And it's like you're just pulling that muscle forward a little bit. So we're getting microcurrent in there, plus a little bit of a muscular stretch. All right, and then we do the same on the other side. So we're just going to place this here, and this just rests there. And then the other hand just comes just on the back of the neck, just somewhere at the top. I always think about, it's something I sometimes do when I go out, although because we're in lockdown, I'm not exactly going out very much. But sometimes I like to see how people's, especially women, you know, posture wise, because I always find that you can tell which side they have their handbag on, because one shoulder might look a bit more stiff than the other shoulder. It might be that one shoulder is up there because because the muscle has just, it's almost like they've done a bit of workout on that side. So they'll be lopsided. All right, so we're just going to intend for the elbow just to come down to the ground, and you can grip a little bit at the base of the neck. And it's like you're pulling that muscle forward while at the same time your arm is going down to the ground. So it's just a slow pull forward. It's like you're pulling it over the bone. All right, and then the other side, we feel for the bony area behind the ear, and then we slip down into the soft tissue. And we're just going to just warm up the side of the neck slightly. So this hand's going to go up to the top to meet it, and we're just going to move it down to the base of the neck. And at the same time, if you want, you can stretch your head a little bit if it feels comfortable. So we're just going to put it up so that both hands are together. And we just wait there for a little bit, because again, whenever you've got stiff muscles, it's a barrier. So you have to wait there for a little bit just to make sure that the current can come through. And then when you're ready, we're just going to slowly slide the hand down to the base of the neck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're at the base of the neck and just hold it a bit there. Then we're going to repeat the same action, but a bit closer to the center of the back of the neck, so a bit closer to the spine. So the same thing, but I'm going to put my hand at the back because it's more comfortable that way. So one hand's going to be at the back and the other one's going to slide down. So I'm going to be doing this sort of action, sliding down like that. So again, just let it warm up a little bit. Because I know for me, I always get very stiff here. And I know especially as, well, we're therapists, while we're doing this all the time, we get very stiff at the back. So we're just going to slide down slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we do the same on the other side. So feel for the bone behind your ear, just come down into the soft tissue. And then this hand is going to rest up there to start with, and it's going to slide down to the base of the neck. So we're doing the same thing. We're just going to warm up that area a little bit here. And what I said in the last class was here at the occipital ridge, I know a lot of people, especially if they get headaches, they get quite sore at the ridge and it can get very tender. Oops, hold on. So, how do I let that in? There we go. I think you're in. Okay. It can get very tender. So it's going to slide down slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and just hold it there for a little bit. So we've got one hand at the top of the trapezius, just behind the ear, and the other hand at the base of the neck. So we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to slide around a little bit to the back of the neck. So we're doing this action like that, but at the back of the neck. So I'm going to put both hands at the back because it's just more comfortable, just let it warm up a little bit. So what I was saying was with the occipital ridge, it's very tempting to dig your fingers into the occipital ridge because you've got very tender areas there, and it feels good when you do that. And especially if you've got a client and you're holding their head in your hands and you want to stretch the neck, so you sort of feel, oh, you know, you want to sort of like grip at the base of their occipital ridge and pull up. You can exert some pressure on that bony ridge, but make sure it's gentle pressure, because otherwise you could affect the arteries that come up from the vertebra into the cranium. All right, it's going to slide down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and just stay there. There you go. I think you're in. Okay, so we're going to go back to resting our hand here. So we're just resting this. This isn't going to do anything. It's just giving us a little bit of current. And put our hand on the bony area behind the ear, slip into the soft tissue and stay there for a bit. And what we're going to do is actually move our fingers. So I've just got my fingers like that. And I'm going to do this at about a 1 or sort of between 1 and 2. So I'm just moving my fingers from here around to the back where the cervical spine is. And if you want to do this with stretching a little bit, just looking over to your shoulder, you can do this, but it's only a light pressure. So just move round to the cervical spine, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Make sure this shoulder is relaxed, so you're not bringing it up to the ear. If you want to, you can sort of roll it back, and so it's not going to be stiff. Right, we're going to go back and do the same thing, but this time, make sure you're on the soft tissue, not up at the ridge. We can do it at about 2 or 3, so you can go in a little bit harder. And when you go in deeper, we go in slower as well. So I'll just count us in. Just sink in to the muscle, and we're just going to go around to the cervical spine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and just hold it there at the spine. All right, we'll do the same thing, but we're going to drop down. So both hands are quite close to each other then. So this one again is just resting here. Make sure your shoulder is back. And we're just going to put it down a little bit. So again, we start off at a light pressure, maybe sort of a 1 or a 2, and then just move across. And as I said, if you want to, you can move your head to one side just to stretch it out if it feels comfortable to you. Oh, hold on, who's this? Okay. So we're just stretching around to the cervical spine and just hold it there for a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we're going to go back and repeat it, but at a deeper pressure. So we're just down that way and start to sink in. And because we're going deeper, we go a little bit slower. So just let yourself sink in, let your fingers just sink into that soft tissue. And then start moving it round to the back of the neck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And just hold it there. And then release. And we're going to do the same on the other side. And actually this muscle feels better, in fact. Anyway, so the other side. So again, we're just going to rest our hand here. This doesn't do anything, it's just resting. So it actually feels quite nice. And make sure your shoulder is down and not stuck up like that. So we start off with our fingers. Find the bone behind your ear, slip down into the soft tissue. And we're just going to hold that lightly. It's about a 1 to 2 pressure. And we're going to be moving that round to the back where the cervical spine is. And if you want to, you can also stretch your head to the other shoulder if it feels comfortable for you. So we're just letting that sink in gradually. It's a light pressure. And then just move across to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And hold it. And we're going to go back and do the same thing in the same horizontal line, but we're going to go in a bit deeper. So go back here, make sure you find your soft tissue underneath the bone and let it sink in. And we're going to go a little bit slower because we're going deeper. So move on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, just round to the spine and just hold it there. All right, now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to drop down. If you've got a longer neck, you probably move down quite a bit, but I think I've got a short neck. Anyway, so this is a light pressure, about a 1 or 2, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to be moving around to the back of the spine. So move around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and just hold it there for a bit. And we're going to do the same thing again in the same area, but deeper. So let yourself sink in. Make sure your shoulder is, well, both shoulders are back and down. So you can roll them back if you wish. Let the fingers just sink in a bit deeper, and we're going to go around to the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and hold it there. If you've gone in quite deep, it's actually quite a nice muscular stretch. It's almost like you're sort of pinching the muscle towards the cervical spine. Right, so what we're going to do now is we're just going to put both hands at the back on each side of the cervical spine. So we'll be doing that and then just gradually pull them out. Well, it feels like you're pulling them out. So just let everything just relax, let it just stay there. And your fingers are on each side of the spine. And then with your own breath, just bring your elbows towards the ground. And you can dig your fingers in as well. And it feels quite nice that way. And I always think when you work the trapezius, it's always a good idea to work the other muscles of the neck that you can, like the front. Because again, when you've got a posture where you're either going to be like that all the time, or you're sitting like that at the computer screen, you're putting this on a stretch, and you're putting this on a stretch, and also these muscles on a stretch. So we're going to just put, I'll wet my glove a bit. Put your hand on your collarbone, clavicle, and we're just going to go up just lightly, first of all, just to behind the ear. So we're just lengthening that sternocleidomastoid muscle very lightly, first of all. And just hold there. We're going to do the same and just go a little bit deeper, so maybe a 2. So start again and go up again at about a 2. What's nice about wearing gloves is if you don't get the sternocleidomastoid exactly, it doesn't matter as long as you're around the vicinity. So just going up. Ooh. And just hold it there and just stay there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we're just going to go up lightly to about sort of the angle of the jaw. This is called the angle because it's an angle, I guess. So we're just going to go up very lightly, about a pressure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The platysma is a very strange muscle because it's a really broad muscle, but it's also superficial. So when you work the platysma, you don't have to go deep at all because it is just superficial fascia. Right, I'm going to do the same, but up to the chin. So obviously be careful going over this area. So we're going to go light, about a 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and just hold it there. I've got a short neck, so I didn't take very long to get there. Now I'm just going to hold it there, and I take my fingers like that. I'm just going to go very lightly, sort of underneath the jawline from here up to about just behind your ear. So just going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then just sweep it down. And then, because we're working on the chin, so I'm just holding here, and I'm just going to move from here up to about the corner of the mouth. So again, very light, so about a 1. stroke 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, and just hold it. And this is still the platysma muscle, it's still the front of the neck, because it, what's the word? It attaches about here, about the corner of the mouth. So it's still the same muscle as we're working here. All right, to go into the other side before I forget where I'm going. So just on the collarbone, and we're just going to work this thick muscle here. So from the collarbone up to just behind your ear. So a light pressure first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and just hold it there. And then we'll do it again, but we're going to go slightly deeper, about a 2 maybe. And if you want to, you can also turn your head if it feels better to give you a bit of a stretch. So start again and move up, same muscle behind the ear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And when you get there, just stay there for a bit. Because when the muscle is stiff, you need a few more seconds, because when you have stiffness, it's another hindrance to the current. Right, and then we're going to do the same again, but we're going to go from the collarbone up to about the angle. So this is the angle of the jaw, so we're going to go about there. So lightly, with light pressure, about 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and just hold it. Okay, and then we're going to go from, again, the collarbone up to just under your chin. So just light pressure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we're just going to stretch the attachment of the platysma onto the corner of the mouth. So it's going to go from here up to about the corner of the mouth. Okay, so light pressure, about a 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. And when you get there, just hold it. All right. So I'm going to start working around the mouth. So if you imagine you've got this line, we're just going to go fingers on one side, fingers on the other side. And it's a very light stretch because I want to just create some traction and just hold it there. So we just move apart lightly. 1, 2, 3, 4, and just hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm going to move my lower hand up slightly and do the stretch again. And I'm aiming for about here, so about sort of the middle of the ear, but we're not going to go that far because it's only a tiny stretch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and just hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The next thing is around the orbicularis oris muscle, because it's a sphincter muscle, so it does this or whatever shape you make anyway. So having one finger on the bit above one a bit below. And this is only a tiny stretch, because you can imagine you've got the sphincter muscle, and we're just going to go like that slightly, and then just hold it. So move it out. And then just hold that stretch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, and the next thing is, if you've got a line here, again, fingers on one side, fingers on the other side, and it's going to be a short stretch. There's only a tiny little bit here, and then we'll hold it and move up again. So stretch, 2, 3, 4, and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then move your lower hand up slightly, and we'll continue the stretch. Again, it's only a short stretch, just slightly stretch, and we can still feel the traction, and then we just hold. 1, 2. So we're just really warming up these muscles before we do a deeper stretch inside. Actually, it's not really that deep, because when Jane goes inside, she's going to teach us to do it really deep. So this is still, we're still going to do a superficial stretch. Okay. And then if you think about the muscle that goes up to your eye, so we're still staying this side of the line and this side of the line, but we're going up slightly. So we're only going to go up about as far as there. So just move up, 2, 3, 4, and I've lost my traction. Sorry, I'm doing it again. And then just hold it. 1, 2. And one of the reasons I'm holding it is because I think I've got quite dry skin, and I think some of us have dry skin because of the weather. So if you've got dry skin, it's a, what's the word, barrier. It's a hindrance, it's a barrier to microcurrent. So it's best that we hold it for a bit longer with dryness. Right, and then just come up, and we're just going to stretch up the nose, just very lightly, about a pressure 1. So still on the edge of the mouth and stretching up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and just hold it. And the reason we do it here is because the muscle that's here, it's a very tiny muscle, but it's a very strong muscle, and it lifts up the mouth. It's one of those that lifts up the mouth. And the last one is, if you can imagine on the level of your nose, about a finger away, you've got a tiny muscle. It's actually quite a deep one, and we're just going to stretch it out like that. So I'm going to use one finger. So just stretch it and just hold. When we do the work inside the mouth, I often find that this muscle on the inside is really painful and really tender. Right, and then we're going to do the same on the other side. So, okay, got line here, fingers on one side, fingers on the other side. So we're going to stretch, small stretch out this way. Okay, so when you're ready, just going to stretch it out. And then we hold 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just going to check my toner because I think it's turned itself off. Oh, almost. Haven't quite. Sorry, carry on. And hold 2, 3, 4. I always feel the current more on one side than the other. I don't understand that one. Right, and we're going to move the lower hand up to meet the upper hand, and then continue the stretch. Again, it's only a slight stretch because you want to still feel the traction there, and then just hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, back to the apicularis. So I need to actually restart this, sorry, because I've got the little toner thing. I'll be with you. 1, oops. Okay, so we're working the orbicularis muscle. So one finger above, one finger below, and it's a tiny, just stretch out like that. That's all we're doing. So stretch, and then we just hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then line, 2 fingers one side, fingers the other side, and we're going to stretch up that way. So tiny, it's only a small stretch again, about a 1, and then when you get there, hold it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bring your lower hand up nearer and continue the stretch. Again, it's a short stretch, just coming up to the cheekbone slightly, and then hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, now we're going to go from this muscle, which goes up to the eye, but we're only going to go about as far as there. So again, this side of the line, and this one's going to go up. And you'll feel a slight twist maybe, and hold it there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then go up to the nose, up to about where that is. So again, light pressure, about a 1. So just move up and hold it there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the last one, about the same level as your nose, but maybe a finger away. And it's this tiny deep muscle that's here, and we're just going to stretch it out that way. So just stretch and then hold. 1, 2. This muscle's always really tender for me. I never know why. 6, 7, 8. All right, so we're going to do a little bit of work inside the mouth, but I'm not going to go deep inside. So we're still doing superficial stretch. So the first one is I just take my thumb and put it like at the corner of my lips. So I'm not going right in, I'm just going in just enough so I can grip it. And I'm doing this muscle, which is still the platysma muscle because it attaches in there, plus all the other muscles underneath it. I can never remember what they're called. So what I'm doing is I'm just attaching like this, a grip, and then I just go down and I'm going to hold it. So you can actually feel a bit more of a stretch. I'm going round. Oh, I lost it. I did it again. Right, and then just hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, if you lose the stretch, you can always go back and just do it again. Right, this one, I'm just going to do this muscle that comes out here. So it's a hard, you have to just get your thumb in somehow and just pull and then come out. And when you feel the stretch, just hold it there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, and the next one is the muscles that come up, that go to the corner of the eye, but we're only going to go as far as here because we're just trying to stretch this out. So again, just thumb in and just stretch. I'm probably doing this at about a 2. So although I'm stretching here, I'm probably stretching this way about a level 2, I think. Get up and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I'm aiming for this muscle that comes up here, but again, we're only going to be moving it up to about there to make sure we keep the traction on. So, and move up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then the last one here is from about the center, we just move it out a little bit. So it's like if you imagine the orbicularis muscle, we're just stretching it along this way. Oh, center out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, and then we do the other side. So start off, we're aiming for this muscle that goes down, the depressor. So thumb in, and we just stretch. And stretch down and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, then we're doing across here. So this is a bit awkward to get in, but just do, and just stretch it out and then hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right. Now aiming for these muscles that go up to the corner, but we're only going to go hold the stretch up to about as far as there. So again, level 2 with this hand, and go up and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, imagine this muscle going up to the eye, and we're going about as far as there with our stretch. This is the one I sometimes lose the stretch. If you lose it, you can just bring it up again until you find it again. So even up to stretch, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we're going to go up the nose, so corner, and just stretch up. So stretching away from each other. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the last one, just the around the top lip, so center, just stretch out and out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Now, I didn't do this in the last lesson. I think I forgot to put it in. But I want to just do a stretch of the masseter muscle here, which is quite a deep, very strong muscle. So we're going to do it just lightly first of all. So we're going to start with one hand just at the angle of the jaw, and then that hand is going to come up. So we're actually right in front of the ear. So go lightly first of all, and we're just moving up to about the top of your cheekbone, and we'll hold it there. If you do a lot of grinding, like I do, or clenching, this muscle tends to hurt, and you always think you have to go in really deep, but actually you don't have to. You can actually go in quite lightly and you can still get results. So I'm at the top, I'm like where my cheekbone is. We're going to do it again, but about a level 2. So we're just going to move up. So get your fingers ready, just let yourself sink in, and then just move up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, until you get to the top of the cheekbone. And then we do one more, and this time you can go in a bit deeper, about between 2 and 3. So just let your fingers just sink in. About a couple of breaths here. And then just move up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just until you get to your cheekbone. 7, 8. You don't need to go beyond that because it only attaches at about the cheekbone area. And then we do the same on the other side. So again, just have one hand just where the angle is, and we're just going in front of the ear. It's that big muscle there. So go up slowly at a level 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just to get to your cheekbone, at the top of the cheekbone, and just hold it there a bit. Again, this muscle can get very stiff in some people, but it's a very, very strong muscle. Actually, it's the strongest muscle, isn't it? Oh, yes, it is, yeah. And then we do again level 2. So move up at a level 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and just hold it. And then we're going to go back and do it at about level 3-ish. And we can go quite slowly. So come back and just let it sink in a bit. The harder it is, the stiffer the muscle, the longer you have to hold it to allow your fingers to sink in, and also to allow the microcurrent to get in, because it's a hindrance to the microcurrent. So just one more breath. And then we can start to move up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just to get to the top of the cheekbone, no further than that, because it only attaches in there. Right, so now we're just going to drain out a little bit. So just drain out here to that side. So just slowly drain out. And then move off and do the same thing. So just draining out this way. And then move up. I'm just going to do the under the eye. So again, very lightly. So it's like you're stroking a butterfly's wing. It's very light. Just under the eye, slowly. And then we're going to go over the temple area, again, very, very light over the temple area. So one hand just on the top of the cheekbone, and I've got to move this out of the way, hold on. And then the other hand is going to go up the cheek, temple, so just lightly. And then this stays the same, but we're going to go up diagonally. Okay, so diagonal, up that way. And just hold. And the last thing on this side, well, not the last thing, sorry. The next thing on this side is we're going to go into the hairline with this hand. So you need to wet your glove. So this is going to stay on the skin. I'm going to wet my glove and do this quite lightly. So level 1 stroke level 2 at the very heaviest, because you don't need to go in heavy at all, but we're just going to move into this temporalis area, which is here. So, oops. So we're just moving into there. And you can go quite lightly. And the reason I like to go into the temporalis area is because quite often people get headaches. It can be quite painful here, but always go very lightly, because you can still get a really good result if you go lightly. And also I like to go into this area because if you get any strain around your brows or pain, some people get like aches and pains around the brow area. Quite often it comes from the temporalis, so the muscle just above you, that sits above your ear. But always try to go lightly there, because it still works really well for the light pressure. Right, oh, do the same on the other side if I forget. So just going to drain outwards and then outwards. So drain this way. and then move up and again. And then lastly, just under the eye. So very light touch. Right, so on the cheekbone, move vertically up the temple area. So it's like you're sort of stretching out your crow's feet. And then just hold. And then we go diagonally. So I'm just going to do it this way so you can see. And just hold there. And then I'm going to wet my glove because I'm going to go into the actual hairline. So one hand still on the skin and the other hand is going to go lightly, about a pressure 1, stroke 2, just up into here and just hold it there. Right, so just going to go at the edge of the brow and lift up. Let me do this. Oops, right. So it's going to lift up about a level 1, and I'm just moving my top hand up to the hairline. And then the bottom one's going to follow it, and I'm just moving up with my bottom hand is about a level 2. All right, and just do the same thing at the front of the brow. So one above, one below, and just lift up. And the top one goes up to the hairline. And the bottom one just follows at about a level 2. And then just bring the brows together. It's like you're sort of squishing them in slightly. And then what I like to do is just one finger on the actual brow bone and just let it sink in. It's like you're sort of lifting up. And then try to sort of just close your eyes so you're creating some tension. And then relax and close and relax. And then with the other one finger, just over the eyelid. So again, it's like you're touching a butterfly's wing very lightly just down. So you're not stretching with your eye, it's just you're just going over with your finger. So your eye is relaxed. Okay, and then the other side. Oh, I'm a bit wonky, aren't I? Okay, let's do the other side. Straightening me out. So one hand above, so this edge of the eyebrow. So one hand above, one below, and the top hand is going to move up about level 1 up to the hairline. And the other one's going to follow it about a level 2. And then the same at the front of the brow. So again, I'm going to do it this way, actually, it's easier. So one above, one below, and just move it up. And then the one below comes up at about a level 2. Okay, and then just squish the brows together. This is almost like relaxing your brows in a way when you squish them together. Right, and the last one is we're just going to have one finger on the brow bone. So it's like we're lifting up, and then we'll do a little stretch. So we close our eye and then just relax and close our eye. This is, I think it's called PNF, and I can't remember what PNF stands for, but it's some sort of stretch that you give, like a superficial stretch. I can't remember what it does. Oh, anyway, never mind. So with the other finger, so relax your eye, and we're just going to stroke it down over the eyelid, very light. Just stroke it down. So your eye is relaxed while we're doing this. Right. Oh, I'm even. Right. Then the next one is about here, and the other hand's going to go above, and we're just going to move up to the hairline about a level 1 again. So we're going up through your procerus muscle, which is your frowning muscle, one of your frowning muscles. All right, I'm just going to move up with the lower hand up to about a level 2, just to meet it. And then continue up to the hairline with the top hand. And then once you get to the hairline, bring the bottom hand up about a level 2 again, just to meet it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and just hold it there. I find particularly in winter that the foreheads can get very dry. Okay. So we're just going to pretend we've got an imaginary line down here. So we're going to have fingers on either side, and we're just going to ease them out on each side, just like that. Just like you're peeling your fingers away from each other. And then just hold. Right, come back to the center, and we're going to do the same but on the other side. We're going to do it inch by inch. Okay, so just let it sink in a bit, and then move one hand across and just hold it for a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inch across with the other hand, and then the first hand moves out again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inch across, and then just move out again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, and then we swap and do the other side. So, stretch out and hold it. 1, 2. This is where it's handy having a table in front of you, because you can just collapse on the table. Sorry that there's a few of you who haven't got a table to relax on. Right, inch the other hand across and just stretch out again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inch across, and then last time just stretch out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, right, and then this would do just quickly. I can't remember what you call it. It's the setting to build lift muscle setting. I don't know what's it called. Lift. Okay, on a toner it's the 1. So I'm just going to set mine to 1, and then you can set yours to whatever your lift setting is, whatever it's called. Okay, so I need to do this. Take this thing off. Right, so we're just starting again at the neck. Just oh, this is where the negative is above the positive. Let's just sweep up, to a point where it's comfortable, actually there, and then bring the other one up. And just hold it for a bit. And then here, bring across under the jawline, just to behind the ear. So I'm actually resting on my bone here. So the mastoid process, which is the bone, I'm just going to bring the other one up. Like that. It's like you're voguing. No, actually, it's not the voguing. The voguing's the other bit. Voguing's that, isn't it? Yeah, this isn't voguing. Sorry. Forget what I said. Right. And then lift up here. So lifting up like the cheek. And this is up here as well, just underneath. And then the other edge of your cheek. So I'm going from here, lifting up there, and then the other one's going to come up too. And on this side, again, I'm aiming for the masseter muscle. So I've got this hand just at the angle. I'm just going to go about a level 2, just up here to where the cheekbone is. Oops, I lost it. Do it again. And then just bring it up slightly. Right. And move up to the hairline. And then I'm going to swap over my leads so I can have my black above my red on the other side of the face. So I'm going to swap over my leads. Right, what am I doing? Right, so my black is above my red. So that's it. So I can do this side now. Up and just hold it there. Right, up to the past the ear. This is a bit awkward. And then come up again with the other hand and hold. And then I can't remember what I did now. Up this way. And the other hand's just going to come. So this hand is just on the bony area here. So it's actually on the bone, and the other hand's going to come up. I think I got my hands the wrong way around. Right. Sorry, I got my leads the wrong way around. Right, so this is up on the cheekbone, and then just bring the other hand to meet it and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then the other edge of the cheekbone. So here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, the masseter muscle. So I'm going to do it this way because it's easier. So I'm just resting here at the angle, and then I'm just bringing this up to about the cheekbone, and then I'm just going to support it with my lower hand. And then lastly, eyebrows up to the hairline, and then just hold 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then lastly, just to go into the hairline here. So this is like one of the bellies of the frontalis. So just moving up the forehead and just into the hairline. You don't need to go very strong. You go about a level 2 will be fine. And just let it stay there. And release it out. And then where the occipital ridge is, and you've got your 2 sort of bony prominences, we're just going to go at the back of the neck and work up with our fingers about a level 2 onto the bone and just hold it there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and then just release. And that's it. You do one more around the back of the neck if you want to finish off. So just either side of the cervical spine and just bring your hands out. And across. And that's it. Right, let me see, can I stop recording? How do I stop recording? Let me just see, stop. Oh, stop recording. I think this must be it.